write a program to check whether the user entered year is leap year or not. So let us first try to understand the logic that will check whether the year is a leap year or not. Gregorian calendar stipulates that a year is a leap year as per the following fact. So the first condition is a year is a leap year only when it is divisible by 4. So if you want to check whether a particular year is leap year or not, you need to divide the year by 4. And if it is completely divisible by 4, it is a leap year. But there is a condition. It should not be a century year. Examples of century years are 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000. These are century years. So this logic, dividing the year by 4, works only when the year is not a century year. If the year is century year, you might get wrong output. Next point is, a century year is a leap year only when it is divisible by 400. So the year when it is divisible by 400, it is a century year. And a century year should be divisible by 4 and 400. Also, a non-century year, for example 2016, 2024, these years should be divisible by 4. Only then these are leap years. So examples of century leap years are 1600, 2000, 2400. These are examples of century leap years. Now let us convert all these facts in our logic and write a Java program. Write a program to check whether the user entered year is a leap year or not. The first statement is import java.util.scanner. We are using scanner class in our program. Scanner object is used to accept input from the user. Import statement tells the compiler the location of the class. Next is the class definition. Public. Public keyword denotes that your class can be accessible outside your package, anywhere in the system. Class keyword followed with a class name. Our class name is leap year. We have defined main method, public static void main. It takes string array as a parameter. Main method is the entry point for every core Java program. Execution starts from here. Here we have defined integer variable year. As soon as interpreter reads the statement, memory allocation happens. So memory for variable year is reserved inside the stack memory area belonging to the main method. Next statement is scanner sc equal to new scanner, and it takes argument system.in. Here we are creating object of type scanner. We need scanner object to accept input from the user. System.in opens an input stream. It connects to the standard input stream, that is keyboard. So as soon as this statement executes, memory allocation for the object happens. Reference variable sc is created on the stack memory area, and actual object is created on the heap. And address of the object is stored inside the reference variable sc. So sc is now pointing towards the object on the heap. Next statement is system.out.println. Enter the year. You need to tell the user what is he supposed to do. Hence it is a good practice to display the text to the output. Println method prints the text to the console. So over here we are trying out first output. Enter the year. This text is printed. Next statement is year equal to sc.nextInt. NextInt is a method belonging to scanner class. NextInt is used to read the input in an integer format. So if the user enters, for example 1700, this 1700 figure is read in an integer format. There are various methods for various data types. For example, if you want to read double value, the method will be nextDouble. Year is an integer variable. That is why we need to read the input in integer format. So this 1700 input by the user is stored in the variable year. So value 1700 will be stored in the memory space reserved for variable year. sc.close. Now what is this sc.close? Close method belongs to scanner class. Close method, when invoked on the scanner object, closes the scanner. You are connected with the keyboard through scanner object. Keyboard is the system resource. As a programmer, it is a good practice to close the input stream. So even though you don't write this code sc.close, still your program will work. But when you are working as a programmer on big project, you should use your resources and memory efficiently. So it is a good practice to write this code. Your program will work even though you don't write this code sc.close. Now here comes the logic. We are writing if condition. There are 3 conditions to be checked. This is the first condition, this is the second condition, and this is the third condition. But these 2 conditions are combined because of the logical AND operator. So the first condition is year modulo 400. That means when you divide the year by 400, modulo operator gives the remainder. If the remainder is 0, comparison operator equal to checks whether the left hand side value is equal to right hand side value. So if the remainder is 0, 0 equal to 0, condition becomes true and control goes inside, because we are using OR operator. So when you are using OR operator between two conditions, if the first condition is true, the second condition is not checked. Control of the execution goes inside the block. But if the first condition is false, then the second condition is checked, and in case of second condition, we have used AND operator. So in this case, suppose year modulo 4, the remainder is 0 and this condition becomes true, it is mandatory to check for the next condition because we are using AND operator. In case of AND operator, both the conditions should be true. In case of OR operator, any one condition can be true. So in this second condition, we are using AND operator. So if first condition is true, the second condition has to be true. Only then the control goes inside the block. If the first condition is false, second condition is not checked because AND operator does short circuit evaluations. Now let us take the value and check out. If year modulo 400, the user input year is 1700, so it will be checked whether 1700 modulo 400 is 0 or not. So when you divide 1700 by 400, the answer you get is 100. And over here, 100 is not equal to 0. So the first condition is false. But we are using OR operator. If the first condition is false, it will check for the second condition. So the second condition is year modulo 4, that is 1700 modulo 4 is equal to 0 or not. So when you divide 1700 by 4, the answer you get is 0. 0 equal to 0, condition is true. So in this combined condition where we are using AND operator, our first condition is true. But because we are using AND operator, both the condition has to be true. That is why the next condition is also checked whether 1700 modulo 100 is not equal to 0. This exclamation sign is not. So the remainder should not be equal to 0. This means that it shouldn't be a century year. So when you divide 1700 by 100, the answer you get is 0. And here the condition becomes false because 0 is equal to 0 and the condition is 0 should be not equal to 0. So this total second condition becomes false because in case of AND operator, both the conditions should be true, only then the equation returns true. But in this case, the second condition is false, hence the equation is returning false. And the whole equation becomes false, hence control of the program will not go inside the if block, it will go to the else part. And the statement inside else block will be executed system.out.println. Variable year will retrieve value 1700 from the memory, and this not a leap year is printed as it is to the output. So the output we get for this is 1700 is not a leap year, which is right. Now run the program once again and try to enter different value. For example, user enters 2024. This value is stored in variable year inside the memory, and again the condition is checked if year modulo 400, that is value of year is 2024. When divided by 400, the answer you get is 24. So 24 is not equal to 0. Hence the first condition is false. Again we have used OR operator. So at least one condition should be true. That is why it will be checking for the next condition. The next condition is year modulo 4, that is 2024. When divided by 4, the remainder is 0. So 0 equal to 0, this condition becomes true. But we are using AND operator, so we need to have both the conditions true. Only then the control goes inside the if block. That is why the next condition is also checked. 2024 divided by 100, the remainder is 24. 24 is not equal to 0. This means that this condition is true, and in case of this second combined condition, both the equations are giving true. And when we are using AND operator, both the equations should be true, only then the result is true. Hence this whole condition returns true. And when the if condition returns true, control of execution will go inside the if block and the statements inside the if block will execute. So what code are we writing? System.out.println year, variable year will retrieve value 2024. Is the leap year inside the double quotation marks? Is the text to be printed to the console? And this whole output is printed 2024 is a leap year. So this is how we check whether the given year is leap year or not.